Hello and welcome back to more of our content here in our official Yu-Gi-Oh! Studio. Today, Tom and I are going through the Blue Eyes White Destiny structure deck and talking specifically about some of those new cards. Tom, what have you got in store for us today?
Well, we've got 4 brand new cards to talk about, Ed, and where better to start with than the Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. So this is an upgraded version of the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. It's the ultimate version of it, should we say.
Makes sense.
And it has 3 effects, and they're all very similar, but they're kind of upgraded versions of the effects of the original Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon.
So what does it do?
So first of all, it stops your opponent from banishing cards from your graveyard. Very powerful. You're going to put a lot of Blue Eyes cards in your graveyard. You don't want your opponent to be pesky banishing those cards. You want to keep them. You want to use them for their effects.
That's true. This is all very useful stuff.
And then, of course, once per turn, while it's on the field, if your opponent activates a card or effect on the field, which is where people tend to activate most of their effects, wouldn't you say, you can negate that effect and destroy the card, and then gain 1,000 attack points, obviously bumping you up to 4,500, just like the original Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon.
Wow, that is an incredible amount, but also just really useful and versatile to be able to do all that negation as well.
Yeah, and then finally, if it's destroyed by battle or a card effect, then you can special summon a light dragon monster from your graveyard, except another copy of Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon, of course, but any of your Blue Eyes cards.
Including the regular Spirit Dragon.
Yeah, exactly. So you should say that. They actually work really well together, the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon and the Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon, because the Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon, it's level 12. It could be quite difficult to synchro summon, but if you can get yourself a copy of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon on the field, which is only level 9, then during your opponent's turn, you can use its effect to tribute the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon and special summon a copy of Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon straight from your extra deck, without having to summon it normally. Now, it does get destroyed in the end phase, but that's not a massive problem because you have that effect we mentioned before that lets you then special summon another light dragon monster back from your graveyard, so not too much of a downside.
That's some good synchro synergy there between our Spirit Dragons, but we have plenty more to discuss. We have the new sort of reimagining of Maiden with Eyes of Blue in Maiden of White. So this is one of the level 1 spellcaster tuner effect monsters.
Yes, exactly. So it has got effects like Maiden with Eyes of Blue that are similar. It will help you summon some monsters, so let's go through all of its effect in detail. Maiden of White can send itself from the hand or field to the graveyard and then take a True Light from either your hand, field or graveyard, so pretty much anywhere it's got itself to, and put it straight face up on the field. And that's quite a nice thing to do because True Light is a trap card, so normally if you wanted to use any of its effects, you'd have to set it for a turn, you'd have to wait, but we don't like waiting. We want to use our cards right now.
I've got things to do, mate. I've got plays to make. I've got to put this thing there now.
Yeah, so you can put your True Light on the field, which is an older, very powerful Blue Eyes card, which will let you get access to more of your Eyes of Blue cards or level 1 tuners or Blue Eyes White Dragons.
Which is pretty imperative for this. Now, speaking of, we have a new spell card here. We have 2 new spell cards that we're talking about in this video. Wishes for Eyes of Blue.
Exactly, so Wishes for Eyes of Blue, a normal spell card, and you can use it just for the low price of discarding 1 card. You can search 2 cards from your deck. So a level 1 light tuner monster, for example, Maiden of White, which we've just talked about, or if you have enough Blue Eyes cards, you could search yourself an Effect Veiler or something like that to stop your opponent from doing things on their turn. And then in addition to a level 1 light tuner, you get another spell or trap which mentions a Blue Eyes White Dragon. So you could search for Roar of the Blue Eyes Dragons, which we're going to show you in a second, or you could search for Mausoleum of Light or White or True Light or anything like that. In addition to that, while it's in the graveyard, so after you've used its effect already, you can banish it to target a Blue Eyes White Dragon and equip a fusion monster from your extra deck to it. So for example, you could equip the Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon.
And what does that do? Does it give it a small bump of attack?
It does. It gives it 400 extra attack because of the effect of Wishes for Eyes of Blue. But the nice thing about this is your Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, if your Blue Eyes monster is used as, say, a Synchro or a Fusion or an XYZ, now that we have all of those options to use our Blue Eyes for, Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon will be sent to the graveyard. And then it's got a useful effect from your graveyard to protect your Blue Eyes monsters from being targeted.
So really great synergy in this structure deck so far, just purely from some of the old cards that we know, but all these new ones coming in. And then that takes us finally onto Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons, the other new spell card that we're talking about today. So tell us a little bit about what this does.
Well, that will allow you to just straight up summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck, graveyard, or banishment. So that's pretty great because Blue Eyes, it's level 8, as we know, can be quite difficult to get straight onto the field, but with the Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons, you can just summon one straight away.
That's exactly what you want out of a Blue Eyes deck. And with Wishes for Eyes of Blue, if you're going to be able to discard a card as well, you can maybe put some of the White Stone of Ancients into the grave as well to get even more Blue Eyes to your hands. If you've got Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon, there's loads of Blue Eyes options in this, funnily enough. But this is really, really great. I like that this just gives you so much access to not only your tuners to get into some of your new synchro plays, but also just to get into the classic Blue Eyes.
Yeah, it's got a handy extra effect in the graveyard as well. If you've got some leftover Blue Eyes White Dragons, I mean, it'd be mean to call them leftover, they're never leftover. They're some of the most powerful dragons in the game, but you can use them to fusion summon. So Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons can be banished from your graveyard to fusion summon a monster from your extra deck as long as you use at least one Blue Eyes card.
Wow, so you could get out the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, or you could get Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon out there, which we know is already going to be in the grave at this point, so maybe not that one. Plenty of choices, because there are other ones in the extra deck that comes as part of Blue Eyes White Destiny. So already these 4 cards are showing off exactly what there is to be done, but we're going to be coming back with another video with 4 brand new cards on top of these to make a total of 8, which are coming as part of this structure deck. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that, because there's plenty more to go through.